guys, Parm at Car Audio, and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you are new to the channel or if you've just stumbled across us, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate your support. Today, we're doing a little sit-down video with someone very special. We're going to be talking about a little bit about Meguiars, and very importantly, we're going to be talking about their latest creation, which has been on the scene now for about a year, and it's their awesome Mk2 Golf. Tom.
Hello, mate.
How are we doing, sir?
Nice to see you.
You all right?
Yeah.
Everyone, this is Tom from Meguiars, and he's head honcho.
I wish I was, mate.
No?
I wish I was. I'm in the marketing team in the UK.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I don't have a Meguiar in my title, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd have a nice car collection these days. But, yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for coming down, mate. The car's not going to be used over the next few months, so it's going to be living in our shop, which I'm very excited about because the car looks absolutely brilliant. But before we move on to the car itself, Tom.
Yes?
How long have you been at Meguiars?
Nearly 18 years. So in the new year, it's 18 years.
But you only look like
I know,
21
right?
yourself.
Yeah, right. Underneath the grey beard, mate. Underneath the grey beard. So yeah, 2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what were you doing before that?
Bit of a mixture, really. I fell into the automotive industry. I had a job at Yokohama TSW back then, in the sales office, just through mate of a mate got an opportunity to go into there. Did that for a few years, moved on to another wheel company that didn't work out for me, fell between jobs. Fortunate enough, my dad had his own business, so I jumped into a van and was doing some delivery driving, and I had a car at the time that I was showing, an orange Fire Dance Red 206 that had got a cost-kitted 2-litre throttle-bodied engine in it, and got to know this little old car care brand that had just started in the UK through showing my car, and was driving past the front door every day. I dropped a letter and dropped my CV in just on and off chance. I got a phone call that very day from Steve King, who was the manager of the business at the time, and I worked with Meguiars throughout the summer, so doing events. It's almost like the ultimate job interview. You get to know us, we get to know you, and I was lucky enough 6 months later on a job came up in the marketing team. Awesome. And that was 18 years ago.
Amazing. I've seen Meguiars over the years, and like from the product range that they used to have to what they have now, it's phenomenal. And obviously in the United States, it's the biggest in the state.
Technically, officially, it's the #1 car care brand, and that's financial.
Yeah.
That's not talking about followers and all that stuff. We are the biggest brand in America in a world that lives and breathes cars. We're pretty proud of that.
Brilliant.
And we'll make roads here. That's our goal to be here. We'll be the #1 here as well. Just takes time, right?
Everything does small steps, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's short legs, that is.
You've actually done quite a few projects for Meguiars over the years. Obviously, we're onto the Mk2 Golf. Before that was the Renault 5. Before that, you had that pickup truck with the GTR front end on it.
Pickup truck. Oh, yeah.
That one. Obviously, the cop car, which is known worldwide. You've got a very good eye for doing up cars, as it were. Have you always been into cars?
No.
Has it always been your passion?
No, it's weird. My dad's into trains, mate, so I don't know, and he hates cars. So I didn't grow up in an automotive family, like, some people are just like, I remember my dad's first car. It's like, I don't have that. I remember an old couple used to live over the road from us. They were affectionately known as Grandad and Grandma. They were no relation, but he had a Mk1 Honda Civic.
Okay.
Little bubble white. It was absolutely beautiful. It was pristine, and every weekend they'd drive it on a Sunday only, and then he'd spend the afternoon cleaning it. And I'd just go over and sit and watch or help, or probably get in the way and annoy him, is the reality of it. I just loved it, and I don't know why, but clearly it was there. And then boys being boys, like first car, I had a Renault 5 that went 6 months later, then bought a Renault 5 Turbo, hence the connection to doing the
yellow one,
first.
yeah.
I worked for an insurance company at the time, cold call, desk, brutal. Brutal. But,
Hi, it's Tom here.
See you. Okay, thanks. yeah, a lot of that. Through that job, I could only have third-party insurance. It wasn't fire and theft, and it was like $2,000. So I was literally working to pay for this car. So it didn't last long, and then I went and bought a 206, which was a year old off the forecourt. I'm like, I just need something a bit more manageable money-wise, and then chucked God knows what money at that, and full of cost kit. 19s, 2.1 throttle body engine, Like it was full max power car. Because back then you didn't just do a car, here it is. You know, it was built over years. I built that thing and changed it and tweaked it and H&Rs on it. Like it was a Meg. It's a really, really cool car. I loved that thing. And it opened a lot of doors for me. And then weirdly, because I chucked all my money in that and fell out of a job that didn't go so well, I then crippled myself financially. You know, modifying cars.
As you do when you're young.
Modifying cars, yeah. So I had a few boring cars over the years. Then background had a Mark 1 S1, which was an OEM Plus, but he used to break all the time. My favourite car was a DC5 Integra that I owned for 2 years. I've got unfinished business with one of them. I will own another. I loved it, that thing. I think that's where my Japanese love comes through.
Ah, okay.
And then we got opportunities to start building cars at work.
Well, here it is in its full glory, the Meguiar's famous Mark II Golf. I know what it is now, Tom, but let's start from the bottom.
Yep.
What did it start life off as?
1.3 CL, and it's a one lady owner from new. I've got the original order form for it.
No way.
Yeah, so we've got in a folder with all the original service. It was like a genuinely well looked after car. It sold to Max, who you know, Max Marshall.
Oh,
Max
okay.
bought it. It was a friend of a family friend, and he was like, I know it will just be good. But I don't think it was running, and it got put into a tree. A loader's just dropped it, and it skidded and buffed against a tree, so the door was a bit damaged.
Okay.
We found a car that we were going to buy. I needed to get there and get it the following day because I hustled the guy on price. Rang Max up, and he was like, oh, Mark II Golf, I've got one of them. I'm like, yeah, cool. So he went, no, 3-door, non-sunroof. I'm like, yes. He went, yeah, I've got one lady owner from new, original thing, all the paperwork. I'm like, of course you have. I can't afford that. He was like, oh, you can have it for what I paid it for. I won't disclose it. It wasn't a lot of money. It was cheaper than what I'd done the deal for on the other car. And he said, I'll drag it out from under the tree. And I thought he was joking. And when I got there, he's literally got his low loader, craned it out. He's going down the farmyard with it. It's like 20 foot in the air. I'm like, are we buying the right car?
What am I getting myself into? I looked at the picture, I thought, Tom, I think you've just screwed yourself here. But obviously not.
Having had the Renault, nothing's as bad as that. It had been under the tree, but I think the tree, weirdly, had given it a constant temperature. So it was never too hot, never too cold, never too wet. There's no rust on it.
Really?
It's absolutely mint. We opened the boot and it's like a time capsule. Like, it was just bonkers how clean it was.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So then obviously you got the car. Where did it end up after that?
It went straight to Reflex Auto Design to assess really what was going on. And so Grant and I sat and stripped the whole of it down, left engine in, all interior out. The kit had arrived from Rocket Bunny, so it had come through via Europe. From Japan, obviously offered that up and started to see where they needed to cut and what they needed to take out and where the kit fits, etc., etc. It went back to bare metal everywhere. Because we've cut the roof out, it's a carbon fibre replacement roof, but that metal was reused in the arch liner. So all the metal work, pretty much here, internally, it's a whole metal arch.
So they flared out, so even under the flared arches, the metal's flared as well.
Yeah, and all built out this width. So it's all built, it's like a whole new metal tub that's built with the roof metal. So it's on there, nice and tidy.
That's amazing. And you were saying about the roof, so the whole roof's been cut out.
Yeah. So it's not a skin or a cap, so they do sell some of them. And the difference being that they leave a wedge of the roof in or a corner, so a cap fits over the top like a cap would do.
Okay.
This is full roof out. These are the original gutter rails as well, which if you're a Mark II enthusiast, you'll know how good they are. They're the original ones off the car.
I must say, they're very straight, because once you remove these, they become wavy.
So this is all bonded into here, and these are on their original clips back in, bonded into the front on the screen on the back. It is a proper replacement roof. In the engine bay, you'll see there was 55 holes, I think, welded up on the bulkhead just to, cut the scuttle panel. So then we've relocated the chassis plate into the back. I think the nerdy little bit as well I like, because the battery tray is normally here. So tray cut out, welded and made to look like you've just took a battery out. Battery's in the boot now.
Yeah.
But I suppose the centerpiece for this, I always done was like, I wanted it to frame. Rather than doing a black bay, it was the Ruby Stone. JTech did their work. I never do them justice to what they've done. It's a fully rebuilt 2-litre ABF, Gen 5 bodies. It's an 02JA gearbox, so a well early gearbox. It's the silly things as well. So I know like, all of the brake lines are all handmade. Mark II people will hate me because I don't know enough. I know that. Anyway, Forge Motorsport made us a radiator and an oil cooler, so it's flat, so it's hidden. And then the fly-by-wire conversion, so that again, the only thing that's going through the bulkhead is the steering column and the link and clutch.
JTech are the boys, aren't they?
Incredible.
Mate, it's
so much work. Just the way they set a car up, just everything that they do from every minute, just from setting a bolt up. I'm not that great at mechanical stuff. I know that. I'm good at making tea and problems. That's the only two things I can make. They gave me a list. I'm like, you give me a list of stuff, I'll source the parts. If it's problems or parts, you give that to me and I'll sort that out. I'll take that away. And they're like, oh, lower cam cover. I'm like, okay, cool. So I've got a list of a load of stuff, and they kept saying, have you got that cam cover yet? I'm like, no, don't worry, I'll sort that. It's like, it's a cover, guys, come on. So they kept nudging me and nudging me and nudging me. I'm like, what is wrong about this cam cover? If you've never tried to look for a lower cam belt cover for an ABF, they are like rocking horse poo.
And that's that bit down there.
Literally, the little cover from there south.
Wow.
Just to give it that clean look on the side. I am forever eternally grateful to JTech because it's the knowledge that they have poured into this car is way beyond my education.
And obviously, when we went out earlier on, the car runs like it's supposed to.
Drives, it's beautiful, turnkey.
Turnkey, and that's what they do.
Yep.
You literally give it to them, and it's come back and it's turnkey, drive away.
When you modify cars, we learn to live with characteristics, don't we? Of things that are, oh, well, that's character of that. Oh, that's a bit clunky, or that doesn't start, or that, that bit does fall off. Do you know what I mean? Like you modify stuff, you break stuff. It's just not like that. JTech have absolutely swung my radar back to that's how it should be.
Absolutely, and that's the way.
There's no excuses.
That's the way they've always worked. If you guys don't know of JTech, we'll put their Instagram handle up now. They do some fantastic builds, and obviously they've killed it on this one. Yeah. So yeah, good job. And obviously the Gen V throttle bodies, 40s or 45s?
45s.
45s.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Emerald management?
ECU Master. So it's running the EMU Black. It's got the dash as well. Which we weren't going to do, but it's a bit of a Gucci part that's quite nice.
Yeah. Let me take a guess at the power output. I would say probably, around about 220 brake?
199.
199? With a load of torque, because it felt quite rapid up the bypass.
The thing is with it's the drivability of it, and because we're making it as a marketing tool, we can't take it on track.
Nah.
We've got a cam and a high flow head in it.
Okay.
So it's not a built engine. It's doing what it's supposed to do right now, and that's look pretty. It sounds well as well. You know, it picks its skirt up when it goes down the road. Yeah, made 199.
So obviously having a Rocket Bunny wide arch kit on it, you probably had to have some custom wheels made for it?
Yeah, so we're running 16x9, 16x10, image wheels, VR5, and again, going with that Japanese theme, they make this in an 18-inch square setup normally, 18x8 for Skyline application.
Okay.
So it's an adaptive centre lock, but it is a true centre lock.
Okay, so you've had centre lock converters
adapters on it, yeah. Kind of like that styling for it, and they were kind enough to support the build, but also, so there's a billet face made for us, one of one set.
Image have been going for years.
I remember like when I was a youngster, mate, but I used to kick around being like, they're the dream. If we can get some image wheels on it, like when I was kicking around with my Peugeots and stuff, it's like, I'd love to them. We just scrolled through the page all the time. But they've helped us out on quite a few builds now, so it's really nice to have a good relationship with them.
Awesome. And obviously, looks like, is it Forge did the...
Yep, so we've got Forge 4 pots on the front, along with GTI rear beam conversion, but then they've upgraded the calipers to Mark IV Golf calipers, so they've got better stopping ability, more balance on the car.
One thing I noticed earlier on, I don't know much about Rocket Bunny, but I do know this spoiler on the boot isn't part of this kit.
Yeah, I'll shut
Am I right?
Down. So, with the Renault 5, we've got the RS200 spoiler on it, again, just to modernise that feel. And again, there's only 4 of these kits in Europe. The ones I've seen, for me, look, I don't know, they look like they needed something. And for me, it was always that upper back edge. So for me, the silhouette and taking that Japanese styling, it needed a banzai type thing. I mean, I looked at loads. I looked at big wings off the back, you know. I looked at horrendously big, stupid stuff. And then walking around a classic car show one week, I was just like, so I'd like to see a Delta spoiler. I wonder if that'll work. And lo and behold, I didn't know this, Lancia Delta bonnets bolt straight to a Mark II Golf.
Do they?
So people put them on because they've got the vents on.
Oh.
So search the internet, I was like, oh, I'm not groundbreaking.
I've always thought they cut the middle section out and weld it onto...
Bonnet fits straight on. So I was like measuring in the show field as you do, like, that'll fit. Yeah. So I just ordered a fiberglass one. It's not a legit one because we needed to modify it. So it's 7 inches out the middle, but it gives you that full banzai silhouette. Yeah,
I'm normally not a fan of like big wings and stuff, but I'll tell you what.
Just suits it well, doesn't it?
It ties in really well.
It just finished that rear end off nicely.
It really does.
Everything's paint. All of the lines, all of the graphics, all up onto the carbon roof, all of the logos in the door, all of the door shuts. So the lines run all through the door shuts.
It's all painted.
It's all painted, all masked up. Johnny spent days and several messages of hate towards me for it. But
the thing is, if you wanted to change the livery, I think you'd have a bit of a problem.
Probably time for a change of job by then, isn't it? If that's the case.
Brilliant. Every time I see it, I just can't stop looking at this car. And I always notice something new that I've never picked up on before. Like today I picked up on the Meguiars logo that's been laser cut out into the roll cage, which is done by Custom Cages. They're down the road from you.
In Daventry, yeah. So that, and again, that was them. So when we approached them, Custom Cages growing up for me with they're the dons of doing cages. They're in Daventry, so we popped up their own, had a little look. Can you help us? Yes, we can. But with the harness rails, you normally put harness bars in to stop the harnesses moving. Yeah. We put them in as well and had them Custom Cages and Meguiars logos put in them. So they suggested that to start off with. And then they said, look, we could do the gusset if you like with that. And I'm like, that'd just be mega. And it's two-sided. So when you're stood here, sorry, we're bringing the camera back and forth. You're here, but it's also internal as well.
Oh, so you get so there's one on the outside, one on the inside.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And inside too, so I'm probably talking about the seats. Wanted to have that race feel, so Cobra we spoke about, I can't remember the name of the seat, but...
I do know one thing, it's difficult to have a conversation, but...
Some say that's not a bad thing.
It depends who you're with, right?
Yeah, indeed. You can have a track-inspired car that can go and win shows.
Of course.
So how do you bring show to track stuff? And that's having some of the nicer stuff. So when we were speaking to Max about trimming the interior, I learnt this, Alcantara and Dynamica are two different things. So correct. Alcantara is a name of a product, it's not actually the product.
It's actually suede, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a synthetic material. So UK Hide sponsored us with Dynamica for all the seats, but I knew I wanted to have cherry blossom things. So that was weeks of just searching the internet, losing faith, finding printed material that I didn't like. It's just not it, it's just not the one. And then like getting to the point where I need to make a decision, and I remember just sitting in bed, Mary's snoring away, and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, Etsy scrolling, like page 10 or 11 on Etsy. I'm like, that's not bad. And it's dress material. So
say that again.
It's dress material. So it's really heavy duty. It's all embroidered.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really...
So someone would typically order that from Etsy and make a dress out of it?
I guess so. Handbag, seat cover, you name it.
When you're actually driving in it, it's mega loud inside. You can't hear anything because it is fully stripped out. There's no carpet in there, even the roof. There's no sound deadening on it. It's just a thin layer of carbon. Because
I know you have alternative suspension solutions, but we've got the H&R Deeps, there's still static side Deeps on there, and that's a testament too, because it drives down the road. It's so low, and it's so comfortable.
It is, and historically, cars that are low static.
The Renault 5,
they drive like.
It is all over the road, the Renault 5.
Yeah, that's dreadful. What suspension's on there? Okay.
They're Bilstein, it's a really good setup. It's just on.
It's purely for track, but the H&Rs drives absolutely fantastic. But I'll tell you what, if this car was on air, mate, number one, you wouldn't be smashing that spoiler everywhere you went.
Well, yeah, but then you're not riding low, are you? My problem is I'd have air, I'd ride that low, and I'd still be annoyed because I smashed the thing.
Is there anything else that we need to know about this awesome build? Oh, the CAE shifter?
Yeah.
They look great, don't they?
I suppose we should also mention our friends, Kenwood.
Oh.
So we've got, you'll know more about this, so it's a shallow head unit. We've got a speaker underneath the dash that just gives us enough noise on long journeys and things like that. Then,
while the car's here, we'll look to address that.
Yeah.
But mate, honestly, where am I going to put anything in it? We could struggle with this.
Maybe. You won't.
We may do, because obviously you don't want speaker holes cut into these lovely carbon panels.
Yeah, maybe not.
Carbon panels are done by Paul at
and the roof.
Mr. Carbon, right?
Yeah, Mr. Carbon,
That's it, yeah.
And again, all the carbon is all laid directional. So left-hand side goes all one way, right-hand side all the other way. Just that attention to detail.
The attention to detail.
That's one for the carbon fibre nerds, that is, because Paul said it to me, I'm like, yes. Yes.
So it wasn't something you thought of?
It's something that I'd like, but I also know that you're doubling the work.
Of course.
So, and we'd put a ton of work into the roof, and I didn't know what time restraints Paul had got.
Yeah.
He said, what about the door cards? And I was like, he went, do you want them directional? I'm like, I'd love them directional, but do we have time? And he just went, if we're doing it, we're doing it. I'm like, okay, fine. So it was in my head, but I didn't dare bridge the conversation with him.
Sometimes if you push too many buttons, it can start falling apart.
Yeah.
So there's one thing I've noticed. On one side, the Meguiars logo is the right way around.
Yeah.
On the other side, it's inverted.
Yeah, so this
Why
side
is that?
it's inverted. And I know it's not a drift car before everyone goes, it's not a drift car. On the drift cars, in Japanese style, they invert the whole side. My knowledge is a little bit vague on it, but my understanding is it was to be alternative. It's to actually draw people's eyes to the logos. And we wanted to run that theme. Why not? It just lends itself quite nicely to do it. And again, it's all painted. I know I've said that a lot, but all painted. A nice little thing we did with the paint as well is homage to the GTI. We wanted to keep the Advan livery.
Yeah, they used to come with the stripes on the bonnet, didn't
so
they?
we kept it with the same styling and angling, but we did a nod to the Mark II as well.
Brilliant. It always helps when you're working with key people to build a car. And the partners you chose to work on this car, obviously you did the right thing.
Yeah, that's why we do it, because we have a challenge, so we have a set budget.
Yeah.
So the budget's not massive.
You could have fooled me.
I know, right? But we lean on companies, you know. So would you like to be part of it? You know, Max puts up his time, UK Hyde have put up the material, and then it's up to us then, once we've done the thing, is to come out and do stuff like this.
So the Meguiar's Mark II Golf is going to be in our shop over the next 2-3 months. You're more than welcome to pop in anytime, and while you're grabbing some Meguiar's product, have a look around this car because it is absolutely fantastic. Job well done by everyone involved.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for having it.
Mate, we'll look after it. We'll make sure it stays nice and warm.
Thank you.
But yeah, thanks for letting us have it. Actually, I feel privileged.
Cheers,
thanks, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
And if I don't see you before,
have a good Christmas.
And if I'm not back on the channel before, wish you and all of our viewers a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes,
remember, don't drink and drive, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.